You're lying there in bed, phone glow on your face, scrolling. It's past midnight. You're not laughing. You're not learning. You're not even tired. Just empty. And deep down, that question you don't say out loud. Why does everything in my life feel stuck? See, here's the wild part. On paper, you're not falling apart. You get up, you work, you pray here and there. You're not out there doing the big haram. But still, doors feel heavier than they should. Opportunities slip. Even your du'a feels like it bounces off the ceiling. And somewhere inside, you wonder, is Allah blocking me? Not because He hates you, not because He's against you, but because maybe you're clinging to habits that are quietly choking your barakah. Not the dramatic sins you'd expect, the subtle ones, the habits you've normalized so much, you don't even notice anymore, but Allah notices. And He already told us, Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is inside themselves. So maybe the breakthrough you're waiting for isn't out there. Maybe it's right here, in the small things you haven't dropped yet. That's why in this video, I'm not going to give you theory. I want to show you 5 habits that are blocking your barakah right now. Habits you can drop. Habits you must drop. And I'll be real with you. Drop even one of them, and you'll start to feel doors shift. Not months later, sometimes the very same week. Because barakah isn't magic, it's alignment. And alignment starts with habits. So let's start with the first one. The habit everyone thinks is harmless, but it's probably the leak that's been sinking your ship. Habit number 1, micro dishonesty you've normalized. Think about this for a second. Most of us don't collapse spiritually because of one big headline sin. We collapse because of the tiny ones we excuse every single day. The little shortcuts that feel practical. The white lies that roll off the tongue so easy, you don't even register them anymore. You know what I'm talking about. Telling someone, I'm on my way, when you haven't even left the building. Marking hours at work just a little higher, because everyone does it. Promising to pay a friend back tomorrow, knowing full well you don't have a plan to. Parking in a disabled spot for just 2 minutes, or downloading that paid course through a pirated link because it's only learning. Even telling your spouse, yeah, I prayed Asr when you didn't. Low-key, some of us even let AI draft our excuses now. Sounds harmless, feels practical, but deep down, every single one is training your heart to believe that truth is flexible. And here's the dangerous part. When your heart learns that truth is negotiable, it doesn't stop at a parking excuse or a white lie email. It starts to treat Salah as negotiable, Quran as optional, du'a as an afterthought. Slowly, without you realizing, it shifts your standards. And suddenly, you wonder why your worship feels dry and your life feels blocked. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ warned us, beware of belittling sins, for they will keep gathering upon a man until they destroy him. Those small bricks stack up into walls you can't climb. And maybe the reason you feel stuck isn't because Allah shut the door. It's because you've been stacking bricks in front of it with your own hands. But here's the mercy in it. Those bricks aren't concrete, they're dust. One moment of sincere istighfar, one decision to stop treating dishonesty like it's practical and you can sweep them away. So instead of trying to fix your whole life in one go, start tiny. Tonight, pick one arena, your time, your money, or your promises. Run a 24-hour honesty sprint. 0 rounding, 0 white lies. 1 promise kept early. Just 1 day. See how it feels. You'll be shocked at how light your chest feels when you don't have to hold the weight of little lies. And the thing is, even if you start telling the truth in the small stuff, you'll notice something else. Your eyes still keep sliding sideways, because even with clean numbers, envy can still be stealing your barakah. Habit number 2, envy by architecture. Here's the thing about envy. Most of us don't think we have it. We picture envy as staring at someone's flashy car or wishing their job was ours. But envy got smarter. It hides in plain sight. It's built into the architecture of our daily lives. Like when the number wins channel at work keeps pinging with promotions and awards, and suddenly your own progress feels small. Or when your cousin posts that new house keys video while you're still negotiating rent. Or sitting at a family dinner where someone casually mentions they just came back from Umrah, and you're quietly wondering how to cover groceries this week. Even your gym buddy can become a trigger when they're flexing their results while you're still dealing with back pain. They're not trying to show off, but your chest doesn't care about their intent. It tightens anyway. That's the quiet danger. Comparison doesn't just steal joy, it strangles barakah. Because when your eyes are glued to somebody else's portion, your heart forgets to taste your own. Allah makes it simple. If you are grateful, I will surely increase you. And the Prophet ﷺ gave us the best hack against envy when he said, "Look at those who have less than you, not those above you, for it will keep you from belittling what Allah has blessed you with." Think about that. Envy drags your blessings into the dirt. Gratitude lifts them back into your sight. So let's make gratitude practical. Tonight, try what I call the eyes to plate move. Pick 3 triggers. Maybe it's a person, a channel, a group chat, and mute them. Just 3. Then write down one blessing you could never post, something only you and Allah would notice. Like, my mother's du'a today, or the way Fajr felt soft this morning, or that random text from a friend that made me feel seen. When it's unpostable, it's unshakable. Do this even once and you'll feel it. Gratitude is helium. It lifts. Envy is lead. It drags. That's the payoff. You stop measuring, and suddenly your portion feels enough. Your chest loosens. That's how Barakah re-enters. But let's be real. Even if you mute the envy and guard your eyes, some of you are still carrying something way heavier. Not what you're looking at, but who you're holding inside your chest. Habit number 3, hoarding grudges. You know what's heavier than envy? Resentment. Carrying people in your chest who don't even think about you anymore. And it's wild because half the time, it's not strangers. It's the closest ones. Think about the friend who cut you out of a deal and never apologized. Or that sibling who, since childhood, knew exactly which words to throw that still sting in your adult life. Or maybe an in-law who once dropped a joke at Eid that humiliated you in front of everyone. The room moved on. You didn't. Or maybe it's smaller. A WhatsApp message left unread, a broken promise, a betrayal you keep replaying when you try to sleep. We call it just feelings. But the Prophet ﷺ described something way deeper. He said every Monday and Thursday, the gates of paradise are opened, and Allah forgives His servants, except 2 people holding a grudge. To them, the angels are told, leave them until they reconcile. Imagine that. All your du'as rising up, but they're stuck in the waiting room because of one grudge sitting in your chest. And here's the raw truth. Resentment feels like you're punishing them, but really, it's you walking around with a stone strapped to your own ribs. That's why some of your du'as feel heavy. Why your barakah feels blocked. You've been dragging people around with you like unpaid tenants. So here's a shift. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It means you're done paying the rent for their mistakes. You're evicting them from your chest, and you can start small. Tonight, when you're in sujood, whisper their name, not to curse them, but to make du'a that Allah gives them a blessing you want for yourself. It doesn't mean you have to invite them back into your life. Boundaries can stay. Safety can stay. But your chest, it deserves peace, and you'll feel it. The first time you drop one of those names into sujood, it feels almost impossible. But if you repeat it for a week, something shifts. The stone starts to roll. Your prayers feel lighter. Your chest has room for barakah again. And that's the payoff here. Forgiveness isn't about letting them off the hook. It's about letting yourself breathe again. Because nothing blocks divine mercy faster than a locked, bitter heart. Now here's where it gets interesting. Even when the grudge is gone, even when the chest feels lighter, some of us still can't hear the mercy that's already around us. Why? Because the noise hasn't stopped. We're drowning in it. And silence, for a lot of us, feels scarier than the resentment itself. Habit number 4, attention bankruptcy. You cleaned your eyes from envy. You loosened your chest from grudges. But let me be real with you, there's another silent thief, and it doesn't come from people. It comes from noise, the constant drip of distraction. We live in a generation where silence feels unnatural. You've trained your brain to twitch every time your smartwatch buzzes. You open your laptop to work and end up with 14 tabs of random productivity hacks, none of which you'll actually use. You're grocery shopping at midnight, but instead of choosing fruit, you're caught in a grocery app flash sale, adding detergent to your cart like it's a stock investment. Or the car engine turns on, and before you even breathe, the infotainment system starts screaming breaking news at you. Even spirituality becomes multitasked. You press play on Quran at 1.5x speed while drafting an email, and deep down you know your brain didn't catch either. Here's the part we don't admit. Distraction isn't just stealing time, it's rewriting our hearts. Because the heart was built to find stillness in the remembrance of Allah. But if your attention is constantly rented out, don't be surprised when dhikr feels boring, du'a feels awkward, and Quran feels heavy. The Quran warns us, let not your wealth and your children distract you from the remembrance of Allah. It doesn't even have to be haram. Just distraction alone is enough to starve the soul. So here's a practical reset. When the adhan hits, lock the phone away, literally. Drawer, bag, whatever. Don't touch it from the first, Allahu Akbar, until you've prayed your sunnah after the fard. That's what I call the adhan lock. And after Isha, try a 10-minute wudu window. Sit still, device-free. Breathe. Run your zikr beads. 33, 33, 34. Read one page of Quran. Make one du'a list. That's it. 10 minutes. It sounds small. But the first time you do it, you'll realize something. That restlessness you always feel when you sit alone, that wasn't boredom. That was your soul reminding you it forgot how to breathe. And here's the payoff. Silence isn't empty. It's full. Full of the whispers you've been drowning out. Full of the barakah that's been trying to reach you through the noise. Now picture this. You've dropped the lies, muted the envy, released the grudges, cut the noise. There's only one thing left. What do your hands reach for first when life punches you in the gut? That's where habit 5 comes in. Habit number 5, treating du'a like the last checkbox. So here's the real test. You've cleaned the little lies, stopped scrolling sideways, dropped the grudges, even quieted the noise. But life will still hit you. The visa application you've been waiting on. The medical results sitting unopened in the clinic portal. That project at work that suddenly collapsed. The unexpected bill that just swallowed your paycheck. And in those moments, what do your hands reach for first? Most of us don't like to admit it, but du'a is rarely our first move. We'll call 5 contacts for wasta before we pray 2 rak'ahs of need. We'll refresh the tracking number more times than we ask our razak. We'll spend hours writing the perfect email, then tack on and make du'a as an afterthought. It's like du'a became the spare tire in the trunk. You only touch it when you've tried everything else and the car's already stuck on the side of the road. And that's not just a mistake, that's a habit, a sequence your heart has learned. Allah is plan Z. And as long as du'a stays the last checkbox, barakah stays blocked. Because du'a isn't decoration, it is worship. The Prophet ﷺ said, du'a is worship. And Allah tells us directly, call upon me, I will respond to you. Sometimes the only reason He closes every other door is so you finally remember the first one was His all along. So how do you flip the habit? Try the first 30 rule. The first 30 seconds after bad news, before you text anyone, before you Google anything, give it to Allah. Pair each need with a name. You're stuck? Call on Al-Fattah, the opener. You're broke? Ar-Razak, the provider. You're scared for your health? Ash-Shafi, the healer. Make the ask specific, not vague. Do it after every fard for 1 week. And don't just track the outcome. Watch for the movement. The subtle shifts that tell you Allah already heard you. Here's the payoff. When du'a becomes your first move instead of your backup plan, the whole way you carry life changes. Problems stop feeling like walls and start feeling like signals, reminders to connect. And that connection is barakah itself. So let's land this. Barakah isn't some magic football dropping out of the sky when you finally get your act together. It's not a lottery ticket. It's already everywhere, woven into your time, your money, your relationships. You just haven't noticed it because the habits blocking it have been louder. And don't get it twisted. Barakah doesn't mean being rich. It doesn't mean suddenly life is full of luxury. A rich man can drop thousands in a week and feel like it evaporated. A poor man can spend a fraction, and because Allah placed barakah in it, that same fraction covers him in ways money alone never could. Barakah is what makes minutes stretch into hours of productivity. It's what makes one small meal feel satisfying, what makes one tiny act of kindness ripple into 10 doors opening later. Barakah is weight, it's presence. It's Allah putting His hand over something in your life and saying, be enough. So if you've been waiting for some miracle sign in the sky, you don't need to. The signs are already in your kitchen, in your calendar, in your heart. Drop the habits that choke barakah, and you'll realize it was never missing. It was waiting for room. If this video reached you at the moment you needed it, leave a quiet line in the comments. Ya Allah, unblock my heart and keep me near you. Somebody else will read it and whisper, Ameen for you. And maybe that's the start of your increase. Until then, may Allah make your hidden battles lighter, and may He make you notice the barakah that was around you all along. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.